Okay, it being 4 p.m., I'm calling the Ohio Valley Sanitary District Board of Directors Personnel Committee meeting to order. Public comment? Items not on the agenda. Anyone in the waiting room? Right. Items for committee consideration, discussion, and possible recommendation to the Board of Directors. Item 3, discussion, IT manager and information systems technology administrator.
Thank you. Ian has given this is Ian next to us. Ian has given a verbal notice that he will be retiring. With that verbal notice, I first want to thank him for his work here. So, being somewhat new to the district, I have seen a lot of the stuff that Ian has done. In particular, the GIS system is outstanding. The tax rolls, ability to hop on that. The amount of money that the district saves on mailing the tax rolls every year is it's outstanding. So thanks, Ian. So with that, he is retiring, and we had an opportunity to look to see what Ian does. With all due respect, Ian is a position that can't be filled. He worked at the collection crew when he was early in his career. He's worked himself up through the IT department. He knows the inner workings of OVSD likely better than anybody. I think it would be foolhardy for us to think that we could fill that exact same position. I don't think that person exists. With that being said, as we did look at what we need to have done, and what we feel that we need to have done is a person who is self-working, that they can work with project logic controllers, so programming some of the lift stations and the pumps down at the treatment plant, doing SCADA work, which is a lot of our work. Implementing the Internet of Things, and but not necessarily needing to manage people. So with that, Alice and I reached out to CPS HR, and CPS HR prepared a job description of what would work best for the district at this point. And that's what attached in here for a look at. CPS HR also gave us their recommendation for a pay grade. That's attached for consideration. And on top of that, what I think is important is that we have some continuity between whatever new IT person comes on board and Yan before he departs. And so what's before you is this discussion of how does the board or how does the committee feel about continuity, and what can we do given the confines that we have in real life of Yan giving us a verbal and our ability to go out and perhaps create a new job description in our suite of work with a pay grade, and then perhaps go afterwards and start recruitment if the board so decided. So that's preface to this conversation.
We ask questions now. Is the Internet of Things a real term?
That's what CPS HR put in there, and yes, so I think the answer is yes. Unfortunately, I was complaining to my dear friend who came into town this week that I got a new Bosch dishwasher, and it is awesome except for it connects to the internet, which drives me nuts because I don't need my dishwasher. Like, I just need to be able to push a button and have it clean. And my wife she corrected me that it is nice because she can remotely see when the dishes are done from her cell phone. So yes, I think the answer is the Internet of Things is real. Yes.
You have a Ring doorbell. That's part of the Internet of Things.
Learning on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to my son's house, and the thermostat wouldn't go on because it says, "I've been connected to the internet for 28 days." Oh, nuts.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a real thing.
More importantly, this is the industrial Internet of Things.
Industrial.
Yes, which is apparently a different category. Yes. So.
Thing that jumped out at me about the difference between the job descriptions and what Dan's been doing here is that the new position is going to be de-emphasize any supervisory abilities. How many people does Yan supervise now?
Technically 0.
Technically zero, yeah.
He is the IT department technically.
Supervise himself.
Always a better piece of work. Hey, do you have any idea how hard it is to manage? I mean,
Yes, exactly. So that really isn't, just that's in the job description so that everyone understands that it doesn't.
That's correct, yeah.
Have it, question?
I asked some questions, but I didn't bring a piece of paper.
You can interject as you remember, as you recall.
Okay.
Mr.
Aye.
Quillisi, Director Quillisi, however, has brought his piece of paper. And
I
there's
brought
lots
my
of
paper
questions.
and pen.
Yeah, there we are.
And I have a whole list, yeah.
Okay.
First of all, I agree strongly with the 3 to 6 month overlap. I'm hoping that we can recruit someone quickly enough, have a 3 to 6 month overlap. Grade 135 is fine with me. I noticed the current IT manager slot, the 143. I'm wondering whether the 135 is a high enough grade to recruit someone that's going to have all these talents. That's my only concern with that.
It's the annual salary of a 135. You did it in hours. Monthly rate. Yeah,
152 to 206 or something like that.
pretty.
I don't,
My-
I'm not doing the recruiting here, so I'm not really sure what that market looks like. We've got people that are doing the recruiting. So CPSHR says they think that the 135 is sufficient. Someone, these qualifications.
Yes.
Okay. We can scan along. As I scroll this up, I get a page number up in the upper left-hand corner. It's different from the page numbers that are actually printed on the pages, but let's see, page 6, starting 7. 135 automatically has a ladder, 5 steps in it. It's not
7-step,
7 steps.
7-step ladder. It's a 7-step ladder. The intent is the last 2 steps are not annual steps.
Okay.
That's typically how it has been. So they're an extenuated step.
And they are differentiated by time in service.
The 2-year increments. 6 and 6 to 7 are 2-year increments instead of annual increments.
So it's like the military, you get more pay just for having been around.
Equal
I'm not criticizing the concept.
They're equal steps between in each numerical step has equal.
First 5 steps are 1
is,
year.
The reason that changed it to 7 steps is actually incentive for longevity for attention. So that's why.
And last time we went through this, we had a bunch of people that were off the end of the chart anyway, so. Also, the next page, this is the one that starts is Systems Technology Administrator. 4 says oversees design, installation, and maintenance motor control systems and other stuff. Is that something that Yan does right now? He oversees the maintenance these items?
Well, I'm responsible for the maintenance system that they use both in collection and at the treatment plant. And so,
The monitoring systems.
and then the SCADA system as well on top of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it kind of all goes hand in hand. And so the maintenance of that is is to make sure that they are receiving work orders that are generated on a 6-month basis, if that's what they need for that piece of equipment to be serviced when it needs to be serviced. Or they want to see certain numbers
Oh,
from
okay, the
filters
systems,
or whatever in the SCADA system.
the IT systems are working as designed. And the maintenance would be making sure that software upgrades are done in time and sort of, I'm trying to, because I got a sense of this IT systems manager or administrator putting hands on moving parts down at the plant.
There's some of that,
Some of it,
yes.
You do that now?
a little bit. I used to do it more than I do it now, but yeah. I do.
My sense was that the treatment plant staff did that after consulting with Yan as to what to do, or even being walked through procedures, but
Two different levels of maintenance. One is change the oil on a pump or change a belt or whatever. That's all done by the treatment plant crew. There's an issue with some numbers not coming out right in the SCADA system, or that the work orders are not coming out as they should, get involved, and that's that part of the maintenance.
okay, so it's the IT related portions that work. I'm not sure that before quite limits it properly. I wouldn't want someone to be interviewed with the wrong impression to think they were going to be doing changing out the oil or the belts or whatever.
Right. But I think we do have my expectation is that they would be the type of person that would sit at a lift station with a laptop and be there programming the PLCs, by the way. So that's
Absolutely.
okay.
Yes.
So they're not gonna be changing oil, but they are gonna be doing maintenance. And if there's something goes wrong with a relay, they could be the person who identifies that problem.
All IT related, yeah.
So, yeah,
We'll make sure that the pump cycles the way it should, so I sit there for several pump cycles to make sure that that happens, whatever,
Sure.
Yeah.
so are you doing all the SCADA work now, the programming of the PLCs and the programming of the,
Yes.
most of
I have some outside assistance, but yes,
the assistants being a consultant?
use Taft.
What percentage of the SCADA work is done by you and
It kind of varies because it goes in cycles I refresh all the servers on a 3-year basis, run the SCADA system. There's 3 servers involved. And so that happens, there's more involvement from Taft. And then when there's not, then there's less involvement. It's just too much to kind of handle all at once.
have to have a single guy that you deal with?
Are you planning on retiring anytime soon?
We're looking at
Should
that.
ask? Okay, there is no collusion here, is there?
Correct.
I have that problem.
I
Keep having doctors retire on me, and they're younger than I am. Anyway, item 7 on that same page, plans and performs clean and preventive maintenance on electrical IT systems. Once again, I'm hoping I've gotten the wrong impression here, but I don't think that this person is going to be putting circuit breakers and sort of thing, maybe monitoring circuit outages and advising people on what to do. I would think that would be work that Taft would do or treatment plant staff would do. So am I right or am I wrong? And
I think there's an expectation that this person that we're looking for would have an opportunity to hop in there and flip those circuit breakers every once in a while, troubleshoot them. That's what I was looking for.
Which I do currently not do.
You do not do.
Correct.
if I was playing
So
around.
like a different set of
480
skills.
volt
Yeah.
patch boards, I would want somebody with heavy leather gloves and some experience patching things.
I would agree.
But we are expecting the new person to do that.
If they would have to have the certifications and the safety experience to do it. There's certainly no one's going to be working on 480 volts that is not trained. That's not going to happen.
Maybe we need something that says with proper certifications.
Fair enough.
And, oh, it said, knowledge of, this is down the bottom of that page. Now it's number 2 on the page. Knowledge of operations and maintenance and development of treatment facilities and lab procedures. That's something, I mean, I would understand if you understand how the treatment facility works.
Right.
But you get involved in the lab procedures or simply the records keeping and.
I don't get involved.
compliance.
So again, they will ask for some way of taking numbers that they use on a daily basis and averaging them or keep them on a monthly basis or whatever they want. And so I will do the electronic side of that. So I'll make some sort of database that they can store that in
You
or.
do the statistical side for
Sure.
them.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Just. I know there are a lot of things that Ann currently does that we cannot expect this person to do.
Right.
I'm just trying to find things that they sound like we're expecting this person to do something Yan does not do now, which might be a higher level function. Lab procedures. You're more concerned about records keeping, the analysis of the data sort of thing, or does someone else do that? I would have thought whoever does the lab work for us does the analysis.
Right,
for
but
us.
they will come to me and say that I need to keep track of X, Y, and Z. And so what's the best way of going about that? And so we will create some sort of method of whatever it is that they need.
Of maintaining the records and analyzing them. Okay. Next page, ability to. All sounded pretty good to me. The third bullet says interpret local, state, and federal laws, rules, and regulations, develop programs in compliance. If that were limited to the IT related functions of the district, it would not scare off somebody who doesn't know anything outside that.
That makes sense to me also.
I might even ask whether it's strictly necessary doing. Build it.
Interpret the laws. Not who would, I guess.
You know, if there are laws that are matters need to be interpreted, yeah, I would refer that it's to management or through management to council. Stuff is kind of complicated these days.
Maybe that line should say in consultation with management and district council as needed.
Or what I'm suggesting is I don't know that I would even put it in there, the entire line. Makes a reference to a skill set that would not normally charge a new hire with.
Well, we are expecting this person to have 4 years' experience in district IT stuff, if you will, preferably 3 years in either water or sewer.
But we also are looking at an education equivalent to completion of 12th grade or.
Yeah.
And then preferred college level coursework in information technology or a closely related field. None of that typically bound for interpretation of local, state, and federal
I
law.
agree, yes.
Okay, rules and regulations. So, the issue is how much do you have to interpret laws, rules, and regulations?
I don't know that I necessarily have to interpret, but again, I have to work with like Bradshaw or David in the lab of developing methods of getting the data out that they need.
But that's not really,
No.
it's usually not even private, it's not privacy issues. There isn't intellectual property issues inherent in that. It's assisting them in they need. That's really
Or also keeping things secure or separated or
Yes.
those kind of things, yeah.
yeah, and I don't think any of that involves interpretation of state or federal law. All I'm just saying is, I like to see things a little clean as possible, because somebody's looking at this and checking boxes or leaving boxes unchecked. To me, it's, usually you want the meat of the coconut in the experience and the certifications. And again, this is a sound basic level of education that's called for it, and I would anticipate for candidates, but there's always the possibility of someone who got into field early and didn't get higher education
Mhm.
and yet
I think maybe interpret is a little bit much of an executive function, but how about understand and ensure compliance with,
we're getting better.
and maybe in consultation with district management and district council as appropriate.
Educational. Yeah.
So
And is that, speaking of the education, is that was it a recommendation is kind of is
Ask your net as wide as you can.
It said college level coursework, a degree, even an associate degree.
some of those classes are standalone, specialized things that.
Yeah, some
aren't
certification.
necessarily-
Yeah, I saw there were also a bunch of certifications in there. So. Let me see, yeah, the licenses. I never business, but I've not heard of these particular licenses or certifications before. I'm just wondering, are there other equivalent certifications such that it would be appropriate to say or equivalent? Don't know. Dan probably knows
I don't think there is.
directly the answer to that.
I don't think there is. I think they are specific. And it's
no equivalency.
not really.
Okay.
I mean, it depends on, you can go down like a database kind of route, or you can go down a network route, or you can go down some different routes, but it's all fairly specific. Oh, different.
That's that.
Yeah, Rockwell is a lot of it, which is all pertaining to the SCADA system, and I mean, I go to an annual conference, that Rockwell stuff, because I mean, again, it's electronics, a lot of PLCs and a lot of programming, and then constantly move forward, obviously, and so.
And they thought it was a good idea to throw in California state licensed electrician. Boy, you got IT guys, who are sort of uniquely, I won't say prima donna, I'm not saying that,
That's the one that I'd bring in that has the heavy gloves and the
Yeah.
experience.
but the electricians are kind of noted for that in the construction field. That would be an
It
interesting.
would be
combination.
preferred if it was
Would be,
there.
absolutely,
Sure.
because they're going to be safe. But just think from a bird, that's kind of an interesting thing to be. I mean, is that
But I think they have a lot of electrical work down at the plant and at the lift stations and so forth that we have, and
knowledge of that background in that would be very helpful.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
constant need for that,
You got that little certification?
Not, call me.
Call Taft if you want to.
There you go.
Electrician, yeah.
Yeah.
Already hard enough to replace, you know, I'll make.
On the next page, essential physical demands, physicals. Well, this happened once before with CBS. And very last bullet under essential physical demands, and I'm really struck at how differently job descriptions are written these days. They are very, very focused. They don't have anything to do with any protected classes, which they always seem to have done back in the bad old days. I'm not sure that being able to lift 25 pounds is sufficient. Know that servers and desktops and all of that generally weigh a lot less, 25 pounds, because it's mostly air inside now because it's chips and wires. I'm sure you can lift more than 25 pounds. But how often you have to lift more than 25 pounds? To install new equipment or whatever.
I mean, the servers are really the only things that really weigh that, maybe that 25-pound mark. I mean, I don't even actually know.
Those rolls of paper for like the system, those are heavy, those.
Right,
rolls of
we
paper.
just got some new, for the plotter.
Gosh, those are heavy.
but I showed up with a dolly to take them back there, you know, I mean, so I don't have to lift them. So you can use the tools that are available to you as well, so.
I'm just,
Well, I've never really looked at it, you know.
when you get back there with the dolly and you've got to pick up this 50-pound roll of paper, put it on something, you do that without lifting it.
Somebody that has different requirements.
You get someone that's at the other end.
Sure. If, yeah.
I'm just concerned that 25 pounds isn't enough.
I think that's against standard, isn't it? I mean, for this level, I mean,
I mean, they kind of proportionally go with what the majority of the scope is. So if it's like highly administrative, I think that this is like 15 pounds or 20. I think maybe our minimum now is 25
Maybe it
pounds.
is,
Like a ream, like a box of paper is
Right.
approximately 25 pounds. They kind of think about what proportionally would be like heaviest thing that you lift. But once again, we also don't want to encourage somebody to make it 100 pounds and encourage somebody to lift up 100 pounds. And so it kind of limits our sort of expectation of what someone would individually try to carry themselves as well.
I think that's a reason.
25 is reasonable. Okay.
okay.
Up with any of your.
My turn again. I also strongly support. Another way for that.
Well, that's, yeah. I think we all strongly support.
I support the salary range at 130 level.
I support Yan never leaving, but that's another story.
Support that too. Quite impressed that you do all the SCADA work. I mean, you're programming PLCs and what is your control? So when or where you guys using?
No, we use Rockwell's, so RSUSE is what called.
So the district's using Rockwell.
Well,
Yeah. All our PLCs are Bradley, you know, Allen Bradley PLCs, and we use the Rockwell software and data system. And have, in my early days here, we used a system called Dynac, which was a Unix-based system. That's, you know, years ago, so.
Quite impressed that you do that.
longer
You
ago
also-
that Rockwell bought on Bradley.
Yeah.
Did I understand you right that you also do the maintenance tracking software? So if somebody does a oil change and they want to record it, you put in, they type in that they did certain maintenance stuff, so it all gets tracked.
Right, so we use a product called Mobile MMS. That is a CMMS program, you know, computerized maintenance and management system that tracks line cleaning, TVing, station maintenance, plant maintenance, lab work, all these different things. So a lot of things that we can automate, we automate with generating work orders on a regular basis. They do rounds every day with an iPad that is the work order in a sense. It obviously stores all that data, and so if you ever want to see what happened on July 4th, 99, you can see what happened on the rounds back then. I think we're that far back, we haven't used it that long, but but so yeah, and we have, you know, SCADA data that goes years, and so that we can see what flows last year. What was it on April 4th, 2017 or whatever.
Gonna be hard to replace this guy.
We're having a conversation.
I kind of support you casting the net as wide as possible. You're gonna have to probably yield on some of the things that you're asking for. You're gonna have to do kind of a mental weighting factor and saying, we have 10 criteria we're judging them by, this new person by. This person's a little weak in 2 areas, but strong in the, you're gonna have to somehow balance all that out and figure out what to do. I like picking somebody.
Thank you.
That's why you get the big bucks.
Well, it's tall order. In and by yourself to do all this stuff.
Are we looking for the overlap?
Is the position described as interim, that stationary?
Every position is a probationary term. I mean, you know, so there's a 6-month probationary
Okay,
built into.
so it's kind of degraded into degradation, so to speak. Okay.
Whereas I'm, with a few little word changes, I'm happy with it.
Okay.
The only other question I would have would be for Yan. If we find somebody, if you start this hiring process immediately after the 28th, I expect the board will approve this. How long do you think it will take to hire someone? Because 6 months from now is already next year.
Yes.
And so the question also arises, once we've hired someone, let's hope it doesn't take any more than 3 months. That person doesn't work out. We get a hook in him so that he will stick around for 3 months and or hiring of someone that does work out for at least 3 months.
I've already stated that I'm not going to leave the district high and dry, and so I'm not going anywhere. And so, if I'm needed at a later date, I'm needed at a later date. Yeah.
Retired annuitant, you can work half-time.
Right.
Lowers my blood pressure.
You're gonna continue living in the area.
Yeah. For now, at least. I mean, so yeah.
It's comforting to know.
How are housing prices around here compared to Denmark?
So cheaper in Denmark, but taxes are much higher. So,
It all-
yeah.
It
So
all balances.
right. Yeah. I'm not going back to Denmark if that's what you think. Can't afford that. Willing.
Anything else
Oh,
then?
Chair, I'm all in favor.
I think the committee, then it sounds like we support the recommendations made by staff.
Subject to minor changes in the job description. Think so, and we can film recommendation to. So there's anything at this point, discussion.
We've done nothing lately.
High summer.
I've done even less.
So Alice and I have talked about it. I think we're going to be looking at getting the treatment plant operator 4 out on the street for recruitment. It's probably going to be open for a 3-week period, or at least a 3-week period. We're looking at folks' schedules. I want to make sure that we have an opportunity when they come aboard that folks are here, we're not on summer vacations, that there's a great training opportunity. I suspect probably looking at October-ish if at the end of recruitment, having someone come up.
Had thought a hire for that position earlier. They stayed with whatever district they were with. We have a large number of applicants. I think now have N-1 applicants. Dead.
Yeah, there's that and we've heard on the, that there's competitive on the recruitment side for those treatment plant.
Yeah.
This is the most sought after treatment plant position in the entire state.
How many fours are there in the state?
Enough willing to move. I think there must have been, inclination is, I think the industry is compromised as a whole as far as people coming into the industry. It's a fair amount of experience. Somebody with level 4 that has and becoming a CPO. So I think it's a higher level that you're looking for also. I think there must have been a COVID move to sort of move upward, and there just seems to be an enormous gap in this particular position, level of experience needed. It's just kind of interesting. Unfortunate.
Okay, so that may signify that it's going to remain unfilled for a while. There isn't any. No modification of that.
The unfortunate part is that you must have a level 4 to be a CPO. So it's kind of a non-optional fill for us in succession planning. So we'll have to get aggressive about it. Necessity. So we're going to give it a go again and see.
And there isn't so for effectively or training
At this time.
My impression was it takes more certification. It takes a lot more time. So you can't educate yourself into the job.
Okay, in case then I think at this point it is appropriate to.
Nothing else.
Point then to adjourn the personnel committee meeting at 4:38.